Children in school love songs, and songs can be very educational. They could be used by teachers as tools to teach students new words and combination of words in a sentence in whatever language they are written in. Another good thing about songs is they tell you of places far beyond your shores, far from Papua New Guinea. One song that I heard as a child was a Fijian song called Isa Lei. When I got to Fiji in August 2023, I learned that the famous song is a Fijian farewell song, but it was based on a Tongan love tune. That is what a source says. For me, it was teaching that brought me to Fiji in August 2023. As a professional, I have served as an educator and journalist. I have spent my working life teaching students in high school, mainly in STEM subjects, and recently have been stepping in to teach language or English. That is because I had taken time out of the classroom and spent almost 8 years working as a print journalist, including clocking 7 years with a newspaper until early 2017. When I returned from postgraduate studies in Australia in 2021, I told everyone that I wanted to get back to the classroom and teach students, particularly at the tertiary level. I was not successful in securing a teaching job in PNG, but Fiji National University engaged me in the later part of 2022 as a consultant where I taught students remotely. I continued online teaching in the first semester of 2023 while waiting for my work permit to be processed before I flew to Fiji. When my work permit was finally sorted in June, I was asked to fly over to Fiji to start teaching students in face-to-face sessions. This is my second overseas contract job, though. 15 years ago, I taught students in Nauru, and the experience I gained as well as the stories I heard are fit to make interesting chapters of a book. It is always a privilege to work out of the country and get to know our other Pacific Island people. I will share a bit more on my teaching experiences in future episodes. On August 15th, I boarded an Air New Guinea plane in Port Moresby and left for Fiji, passing through Honiara in Solomon Islands. It was my first time to pass through that route and first time to actually disembark at Nadi International Airport, on the western side of Viti Levu, the South Island in Fiji. When I disembarked in Nadi, I noticed some young Solomon Islanders on the flight as well, who I took to be university students returning to Fiji for the remainder of Semester 2. As Port Moresby is the main gateway to PNG, Nadi in the west is the gateway to the Fiji Isles. When I landed at Nadi at 6 p.m., I thought it was going to be cold. I had heard an FNU staff talking about the cold in Suva during one of our Zoom meetings. However, when we disembarked, Nadi was warm as Ka Vieng in New Ireland, the island town where I was from May to mid-August in 2023. I had to wait at the airport for some time, though. Before the university vehicle came by, the FNU driver who picked me up apologized for being late. The traffic was heavy, the man in his late 50s said. As we drove out of the airport, I understood what he meant. The road was congested with cars, and we traveled at snail's pace for almost an hour. I told the driver that I thought it was going to be wet and cold at Nadi, but it was dry as Port Moresby and much warmer. The weather is different in Suva. It was raining there when I left, he said. The ride from Nadi to Suva took about 4 hours and covered a total of 189 kilometers. When we arrived in Suva at about midnight, it was raining and it was cold. That reminded me of Noumea in New Caledonia, where I went for a language immersion program back in August of 2012. It made sense that both were cold at this time. Both Noumea and Fiji are further down south compared to PNG and Solomon Islands, and therefore should be colder at this time of the year when winter in the southern hemisphere was still raining. From basic science knowledge, I reasoned that Nadi has a dry weather like Port Moresby and parts of the Solomons, while the seasonal southeasterly winds first make landfall in Suva in the east and dump whatever moisture they collect while traversing over the ocean in that part of the Pacific, hence the intermittent rainfall that Suva is known for. In the morning of August 16th, I took a cab from my temporary accommodation up near the Memorial Hospital in Suva and traveled down to town to buy a phone. I wanted to connect with the FNU Human Resources staff who were helping me get here. While waiting for the mobile phone shop to be opened, I looked around the town area and even went down to the seaside, which is about 50 meters south, and looked out to Suva Harbor. The place was wet from the rain in the night. At about 9 a.m., I returned to the apartment after buying that phone, and I was informed that a vehicle would be sent to pick me up in an hour's time. Now, what is my first impression of Suva? I noticed that there are a lot of old buildings in the Fiji capital, just like some of the colonial-type houses that can be seen in downtown Port Moresby. However, the streets in Suva are cleaner, and people generally comply with the basic rules of civility, and they respect each other. The buses are something in Fiji. Though old, they are huge and can carry up to 60 passengers, and they run by a schedule, unlike the buses in Port Moresby. They do not queue up at a bus stop and wait until they are filled. They leave when they are scheduled to leave. Additionally, they use e-ticketing. Since the COVID days, all bus fares are paid using the electronic system installed in all of the big buses. The taxis use meters as well. In that way, a short ride can cost someone $3 or $4. If you want to be generous, tip the cabbie. I cannot end this feature without saying that Fijians are passionate about rugby union. At the FNU Nasinu Oval, just near the main road, you will always find boys playing rugby in the afternoons, and at times some girls as well will be doing their drills at the other end. The soccer boys are few and are usually composed of the Indian students, who juggle the round ball twice a week or so. What is shared in this episode is brief, though. It is my wish to share a bit more as I move around Suva and other districts and get to know more about the place and the people. I will certainly post other episodes about Fiji as I move out of Suva to visit other towns and provinces. Thanks for watching this video. Please support this channel by liking our videos and subscribe to it. It will certainly help with the algorithm. It will also help us create more videos about our Pacific backyard and other places.